Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to some Dark Souls 2 action. And please enjoy a story of Lothar the Bandit.
The land of Forrossa was dying, a slow, agonizing death of endless war and strife. Lothar had known nothing else. Born to a sellsword mother and a father he never knew, his childhood was a blur of steel and blood, the constant clang of combat echoing across the barren, war-torn lands. When the kingdom finally shattered, its people scattered like dust on the wind. Lothar, now a man, drifted with them, a bandit amongst other lawless kin, seeking only survival and a distant memory of peace. He found himself on a rickety fishing vessel crossing the turbulent seas toward the fabled kingdom of Drangleic. The sailors, gaunt and hollowed, spoke of a king, a curse, and the relentless pull of a place they could not escape. Lothar didn't care. He was simply searching for solid ground and a place to ply his trade. The voyage ended not with a grand welcome, but with a shuddering crash at the chaotic, rain-slicked docks of no man's Wharf. The air was thick with the reek of salt and death, the port a nest of mutated creatures and hollowed sailors. It was a fitting first stop for a bandit. Fighting his way through the rotting ships and shantytown, Lothar's worn axe splintered. But in the wreck of a small craft half submerged in the brackish water, he found a replacement, a ruggedly built iron axe. It was familiar, a weapon of Forrossan design made for the same lawless fringe he belonged to. The find ignited a spark of grim pride in him. With the sturdy axe in hand, he felt more like himself, a true bandit, than he had in years. Days blurred into weeks, and Lothar's journey took him ever downward, deeper into the bowels of Drangleic. He traversed the perilous ledges and rickety platforms to the gutter, a chasm of darkness where the only light came from the torches of the suicidal hollows and the flickering flame of his own resolve. He fought tooth and nail, destoried each torch-bearing corpse, and dodged poison from spitting statues. For a time, the rugged bandit axe from the wreckage of No Man's Wharf was a lifeline, its worn handle a connection to his old self. Yet as Lothar traversed the gutter, the more his sanity frayed and the more his axe felt like a burden. The gutter was a black, fetid labyrinth of unstable platforms and dripping tar. It was here in the suffocating darkness that Lothar's path crossed with another's. A red phantom shimmered into existence, a fleeting but vivid figure known as Melinda the Butcher. She was an inverse image of Lothar, a woman driven hollow by the same madness of survival, but in her eyes he saw a predatory malice he himself was only beginning to know. She hefted a massive Greataxe, a brutal, heavy thing that dwarfed his own. Their fight was not for honor or principle, but a vicious, desperate struggle for existence. Melinda swung her Greataxe with reckless fury, the immense arcs of her weapon a constant threat. Lothar was outmatched in strength, but his Forrossan cunning, born from a life of ambush and hard-won victories, was his advantage. He used the treacherous environment to his benefit, luring Melinda across the rickety bridges and forcing her into corners where her large swings were hampered. The turning point came at the tar pits. Lothar, with a desperate lunge, dodged a sweeping blow from Melinda that sent her Greataxe skidding harmlessly onto the ground. As she recovered, Lothar swiftly lit a nearby pool of tar with a dropped torch, causing the area to erupt in flames. The fire, fed by the noxious sludge, spread rapidly, and Melinda, driven by a hollow's simple aggression, stepped directly into it. The burning tar clung to her, and for a fleeting moment, a sliver of her humanity returned in a cry of agony. It was the only opening Lothar needed. He charged, driving his bandit axe into her unarmored chest, the blow a testament to his desperation and honed killer instinct. The butcher fell, dissolving into a wisp of red souls. gutter was a test of his endurance, a long, agonizing pilgrimage into despair. Then in a forgotten corner of the abyss, at the top of a ridiculously long ladder, he found it, a Greataxe much like his own, but larger and more menacing. It was a treasure hidden in a lonely, forgotten urn. It was another piece of Forrossa, left to rot in the dark, and its weight felt both foreign and familiar in his hands. It was his reward, his proof of survival, and the embodiment of the brutal strength he had always possessed. He hefted the Greataxe, feeling its power hum with a dark purpose. With his new weapon, Lothar was a different kind of monster. He was stronger, more brutal, and his victories felt hollower. The memories of Forrossa faded, replaced by the endless struggle for life in a world that refused to let the dead lie. He started to forget his name, his face, the reason he had come to Drangleic. The only thing that remained was the desire to fight, to feel the axe in his hands as it found purchase in bone and sinew. He was losing his mind, piece by piece, to the curse. Eventually, Lothar went completely hollow. His mind, already a battlefield of forgotten memories, was wiped clean, his purpose replaced by the primal need to spill blood. Now he wanders the cursed lands as a phantom, his great axe a phantom weight in his phantom hands, his heart a hollow shell of rage. He is drawn to the flame, to the power of those with a will to live, and he appears without warning, a red phantom in the world of the living, a ghost of a bandit from a long-dead kingdom. He invades the world of the chosen undead, a final, mindless act of aggression, a shadow of his former self seeking a final, glorious battle. The bandit from Forrossa, now just a hollowed relic, a final warning of what awaits all who are not strong enough to resist the fading of the fire.